Yo, what is good? My anime faithful, what is good, yo? So, we got some very interesting, weird news. I kind of figured the Emperor was a woman for some reason. I had to end it. I just had a thought process that it was, but to think that it was his mom from the other world, you got me messed up. But sure, this is definitely one of the versions of his moms that were like sucked up and actually brought here. So he's never actually met this woman unless she is one of them that he's met. And when this happened, yeah, that wouldn't make any sense because she's been here this whole time. How could she have ever gone back? It's because there's other different like parallel worlds, which sounds like he may have even lost more. But it also sounds like the world that the girl who actually needs, the stone is maybe still around because of how the time flow might work here and how everything, like, this is another dimension from Earth, so Earth itself like works entirely different. But regardless of all that, I'm super interested in seeing how this is going to play out. Not only did we pretty much get to see the most dumbest way to allow one of the most evil people and straight up like easiest way to end the true threat of the show, and of course we find out through the Emperor that everything the Emperor was doing was in safe hopes of actually saving not only this dimension but the other one as well as the other world as well, because of if they collide on the 400 days or something along those lines, they will both be destroyed like instantly. So not only was the Emperor preserving themselves, but for some reason our main character being here and his father going there nonetheless were definitely events that weirdly happened every time. So for instance, his mother was the priestess and she didn't do it. So what happens? She winds up leaving with him to have a son. And then what happens to his wife? She ends up, it's this whole thing about they have to sacrifice something in order to get like results of, I think, going the way that we saw Salis go into her daughter was a result of her saying her last words or something along those lines, and pretty much giving everything away at the same time as taking her own life. So really weird how all this stuff is, it's not weird, it's pretty much how the story should go, because all of this needs to make sense at the end of the day. And for things that were happening that were just messed up, I'm glad that there's some type of talk of making us understand it. There's some type of effort being put into it to make it all make sense. And not only that, just how much more pain this guy has to endure. Not only now could he have lost his daughter that didn't recognize him, or the mom and all that stuff, or whatever she just lost her memory of. She could have had that, down pat. I'm good. But now she remembers him. She's happy to see him after all this time. She now needs to be the one to save both worlds, or somehow our boy needs to figure out a whole new entire way than the ritual to save both, which in 400 years, that means all of this is going to happen again, so a never-ending cycle of trying to save the world. And then after that, what happens to your end all be all of the last real team that you have, right? The last real resistance of trying to supposedly stop it. Now hear all of this stuff that's going on, and practically wants to probably switch sides, or at least keep whatever is going on here going, but maybe help out people elsewhere or something along those lines. Because if these stories are true and the Empire is following, you know, a code to keep everybody in this whole entire dimension safe, then they were wrong for opposing that fact. But if they were being treated badly, like, you know, they see some of the people, but they're like prisoners, right? But the reason why our guy gets sent there is because of the priestess, like one of the highest crimes of all time, right? But you go to the other people that we don't really hear what they did to get to where they were, kind of makes it, you know, the black and white, you know, or it's the gray in between the black and white. So it's really interesting on how things are going, including knowing that his mom or his stepmom is the one kind of governing this you know, method of stuff. So it doesn't seem like it should have been that bad. And because she came in kind of late behind the person who was truly doing all this stuff, the mister tied up on the chains and took over. Like, his one ability is to do that and get into people's minds. But to be fair, he's supposed to be in something that seals away his ability. Remind you, it seals away his ability, but somehow he unseals that ability and gets two people to not only attack our main character and his teammate, but to then go outside the barrier and break the thing so he can get free. So this man is so good at getting away. Not only does he do that, he slides down this well that if our character jumps down, our main guy jumps down there, he literally makes sure that is impossible by throwing a giant JoJo fist back up in the well so he couldn't even get in. It was just like a ghost hand, like a projection, but I don't know what the heck that was. Like, that was just a random. He couldn't do that while he was there and just messed them up, you know. Like, he could have took them all out by like swiping his hand, but maybe it'd been a week or something, not strong enough to do it, seeing how he's been like in that area for a very long time. He has a beard and everything. But the weird part of this whole dimension stuff is this is clearly one of this. He like knows him, right? He knows everything about him, so it's like he exists on all the planes of existence. And the reason why he was working towards getting all the gems anyway was to get to this place, or back to this dimension, I'm guessing, right? So by being here and getting what he wanted, and, you know, being the emperor and having people work the way he did, and he didn't get to finish what he was trying to do because of the stepmom. Now we have to figure out what the heck could he do now. I mean, not much of the stuff is destroyed that he probably needs, right? You know, to do something crazy. So we're in a very, very dark area where we just are, gray area where we don't know what's gonna pop off. All we know is it can pop off at any time. So with all that being said, my anime people, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. Nothing new came out. I checked the like Funimation and all the apps that I kind of have, and nothing nothing like episode 1 came out or anything like that. So looks like this will probably be the only thing I drop for the rest of the day. So I do hope to talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for the support, regardless of when you're joining, or regardless of how many videos you just even clicked on of mine. As long as you watched or done anything like that, it's amazing, and I would love to hear from any of you in the comments. So with that being said, peace.